At the end of last year, I shared with you some options to start the journey towards agility. As you have already seen on that video, Scrum is one of those options. If Scrum is one of the approach that your company has selected to improve its agility in the market, stick around because I will share with you a structured process to start Scrum in a large-scale enterprise right after this one. What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel, Joshua Patui here, to deliver another content for you from Brisbane, Australia. Before we start today's topic, bear in mind that what I will share with you in today's video is not the only way to start Scrum in a large-scale enterprise. I made this video for those of you who are new in large-scale enterprise transformation so that you have some insights on where to start. In a large-scale enterprise transformation, there are a lot of things that needs to be prepared and considered before starting the first sprint. And without preparation, it can waste time and money, it can cause confusion, sometimes it may lead to chaos and distrust. In a large-scale enterprise transformation, there needs to be an alignment between multiple functions and departments that will be transformed. There needs to be a shared understanding, not only about what Scrum is, but also how the organization structure may need to change so that the enterprise agility can improve. The senior leaders also needs to understand about self-management and leading by serving, which is the core tenet of Scrum. The senior management team also need to trust the appointed product owner who will have ownership over the decision for maximizing the value of the product. Now, I have also made a video on how to start Scrum organically using the Scrum values. You can check out that video as a comparison. You may consider using that model if you think it's more suitable for your company's context. In today's video, I will be brief and will not elaborate every single point in this video. In today's video, I will make references to the videos I've already made for this channel. So if you would like to learn or get a more detailed explanation on certain topics, click the links to the videos I will refer to throughout today's video in the description section down below. Now, you need to go to YouTube to see all of the links in the description section. And on top of that, I have also placed chapter markers for each step to start Scrum that are mentioned in today's video. Just hover the video player to see the chapter markers. Alright folks, let's start today's topic. How to start Scrum in a large-scale enterprise. As written on Scrum Guide, the Scrum Master has a service at the corporate level. That is, to advise the senior leaders and to make plans in Scrum adoption in the company. So in the context of Scrum, whoever is organizing and facilitating all of the activities that I will mention from this point onwards is called the Scrum Master. Yes, the Scrum Master is not the team's personal assistant, as many misbeliefs out there. They are a change catalyst. They are a true leader who serves. In a large-scale transformation, there may be more than one Scrum Masters who will be collaborating and facilitating all of the steps I will mention in today's video. As these steps are crucial, it is important for the company to hire a skilled and experienced Scrum Master. If there are several Scrum Masters who will be involved in facilitating these steps, they need to have an alignment and plan it together. From my personal experience, when there is an alignment between the Scrum Masters, there will be a negative reaction from the rest of the company. Now that we already have one or more Scrum Masters to start the Scrum adoption in the company, the first discussion the Scrum Master should facilitate amongst the senior leaders is to define what are the products that the company is delivering to the market. Because as defined in Scrum Guide, Scrum is a framework for developing a complex product. This part is the fundamental of Scrum, but quite often this point is an oversight when a company is adopting Scrum. Now be careful not to get into the trap of thinking that the product is a software. Scrum has evolved and moved away from specifically for software development towards general product development in the past 25 years or so. As defined in Scrum Guide, a product is a vehicle to deliver value, or to simplify it, a product is what your customer purchases from your company. If your company is an insurance company, then the product is insurance. If your company is a bank, then some of the products are savings or home loans. If your customer is not purchasing software or digital products from your company, software therefore is seen as a component within the larger product ecosystem, just like how a wheel is one of the components in a car. From my personal experience, many companies struggle to define what is the actual product they deliver to their customers. Because of the legacy in some of these companies, they were not formed as a product delivery oriented company. If your company is in that situation, go check out my video on what is product that I have already made available on this channel. I've been using that video to start a conversation with a company who wants to adopt Scrum. So after defining the products, the topic that the Scrum Master needs to facilitate between the senior leaders and the other stakeholders is on who will be accountable for each of these products. Or as I often like to dramatize it, who will die on the hill for the value of these products. In the context of Scrum, these people are the product owners. One product should only have one product owner, otherwise there will be conflict of interest that makes decision making slow. Slow decision making is one of the reasons why some companies don't have the agility. Remember, your company wants the agility, right? If your company develops more than one product, then there will be one product owner for each product. Product owner, as we have learned from my other videos, is not a job title. It's an accountability. From my personal experience, in a large-scale enterprise, you need to make the product owner as an executive position, otherwise people will not respect their decision. You can give them a vice president level job title if you wish. These product owners should have a direct reporting line to the senior management team to make them more accountable with the value of the product. I have recently made a video about the detailed accountabilities and also the skills and traits for a product owner. Go check out that video if you want to learn more about who should be the product owners at your company. Now, after watching that video, make sure the senior leaders in your company select the right person to be the product owner. From my personal experience, the cost from selecting the wrong person as the product owner is very high. The company's lifeblood depends on how much revenue will be generated from the product. The product owners are not a proxy. They are the owner of the product. Now, after all of the product owners have been appointed and blessed by the senior management team, the Scrum Master then needs to facilitate the creation of the product vision for each product and also the corporate strategic goals between the senior management team and all of the selected product owners. Product vision and corporate strategic goal is not part of Scrum, but having product vision and corporate strategic goal gives focus, point of direction, and also alignment in the company. If you would like me to make a video on strategic goals and evidence-based management metrics, click that like button down below. I will make the video once I get 200 likes for this video. After the product vision and the corporate strategic goal has been agreed collaboratively, the product owner needs to communicate it to their nexus. The creation of one or more nexus who will develop the product according to the product vision and the strategic goal is the next step. Scrum Guide says that a Scrum team has no more than 10 team members. In a large-scale enterprise, most likely there will be more than 10 team members who will contribute to the development of the product. And bear in mind, these people are not only from information technology department. Some members may be from the sales and marketing department, some may be from design department, legal, compliance, risk, audit, etc. Now, when there will be more than 10 team members from cross-department who will be developing a single product, you need to use the Nexus framework, which is a framework for using Scrum at scale. Now, I will not discuss the Nexus framework here because I've already made a video about it. Go check out that video if you haven't watched it already. Now, the common questions I get regarding Nexus is, where is the product manager position? One of the lessons that I have learned from several large-scale enterprise transformations is to avoid mind-bending and oxymorons. I'm a simple person, and to me, semantics in English or any other languages matters. So just like how a manager is positioned below an owner, you can put the product manager below the product owner and have them report to the product owner. As I said earlier, product owner is an executive position. I know several people will be defensive on this matter, and I do acknowledge that the discussion on this topic can be sacrilegious. But again, in a large-scale transformation, semantics matters. I've made a video about product owners versus product managers. Go check out that video if you're interested in this topic. Another question I get from people is, where is the project management office or PMO in the organization structure? As the company evolves from a project model into a product delivery model, my personal opinion is the PMO should be dissolved eventually. Having a PMO who manages the Scrum team oftentimes just weakens product ownership and self-management within the Scrum team. I've already made a video that maps out all of the activities the project managers do to product owners, Scrum Master, and developers. Check out that video if you would like to learn more about project management activities that the Scrum team already does. One of the important points that I highlighted in that video is every information regarding the progress of the product delivery and also the value of the product that the senior management needs should be available in a dashboard that is generated automatically. If your company does not already have this kind of dashboard, your company can invest in time and money in creating the dashboard. If the company has many products in the portfolio, that means there will be many nexuses in a company. Each nexus may have a different composition because the scale of each product may be different. One nexus may have more members than the other nexus, and keep in mind that not every nexus member needs to be working full-time for their nexus. Some members may still need to do business as usual activities from their functions. And keep in mind, there's still one product owner per nexus who is accountable for the return on investment of the whole product that one nexus develops. After the nexus composition has been defined, Next, the Scrum Master needs to facilitate the creation of the product goal and the initial product backlog for each Nexus. Now, earlier in this video, I've already mentioned about product vision that needs to be trickled down from the senior management team down to the product owners. Now, the product goal can be derived from this product vision. I've already made a video that shows you an example of how to derive the product goal from the product vision. Go check out that video if you haven't already watched it. After the product goal has been defined, the next step is to create the initial product backlog based on that product goal. Now, keep in mind that this is the initial product backlog. As Scrum is based on empiricism, the product backlog can evolve throughout time as long as it will fulfill the defined product goal. After the product goal and the initial product backlog has been created, the Scrum Master needs to facilitate the creation of the definition of done for each Nexus between the members of Nexus. I've already made a video on the definition of done also. Go check out that video if you would like to see a sample of the definition of done. And keep in mind, as I have already explained on that video, the definition of done is different to acceptance criteria. The definition of done contains all of the checkboxes required to be ticked to ensure the quality of the product is always at a releasable state every single sprint. As the nature of the product that every Nexus creates may be different, the definition of done for each Nexus may also be different. One product may require more documentation than the others, one product may not even have any software component in it, etc. And because of this reason, it's best to have each Nexus member to collaborate within their own Nexus when defining their own definition of done. Now, another thing that you need to keep in mind regarding the definition of done, especially in the context of large-scale enterprise, the development organization in the company may already have defined the standards that must be fulfilled by each Nexus. So, for example, every software that will be developed must use certain development platform from a certain vendor. Now, every Nexus must use that development platform regardless. Or each Nexus needs to update the documentation every sprint as defined by a certain international standard body like ISO or CMMI. As defined in Scrum Guide, these standard items must be in the Nexus definition of done. And on top of those standard items, every Nexus can have additional items in their definition of done. From my personal experience, having all of this in place is enough for each Nexus to start the first sprint. But if each Nexus wants to have separate additional discussions, they can do so, and the Scrum Master can facilitate those discussions if needed. And as you can see, all of these activities that are done are just the bare minimum activities required to start the first sprint for each Nexus. You can call this event anything you want as long as you don't call it Sprint 0, because when you do so, from my personal experience, you will open up the can of worms for people in the company to come up with other sprints like design sprint, testing sprint, hardening sprint, etc. And at that point, everyone will wonder how Scrum is different to project management or waterfall. Now, to avoid opening up the can of worms, I personally like to call this event the inception. From my personal experience, to do all of these inception activities may take more than a day, with the Nexus formation as the longest duration activity. You don't have to do all of these inception activities full day straight. And another thing you need to be aware of, sometimes communicating to everyone in the company who is required for the inception activities may take several weeks. Your mileage may vary depending on the size of your company. So make sure to plan ahead. After every Nexus has run their first sprint, that is just the first step. After all Nexus has started their first sprint, the company needs to inspect and adapt at least every sprint on what other changes are needed for the company to increase the agility of the company. The Scrum Masters should collaborate in managing these changes. So that is all from me today, folks. If agility is one of your company's strategies and using Scrum is one of the approaches that has been selected by your company to achieve that strategy, I really hope today's video can give you and the other Scrum Masters in your company an inspiration and a starting point to drive change at your company. And before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out on the future videos I will upload to this channel. I will see you in the next video, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm fading to black now.